This is how I start lives now, with a big cheesy grin, because usually it puts me on the screenshot. So happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. Super sunny here in England, in Manchester. And today's discussion is unconditional love, which you may have seen me posting about this last few days. So if you are watching this, give me some hearts and waves, and then more people will get to see it. Yay, Jack gave me a wave. Hi, Jack. And yeah, so I've been having this kind of discussion with a few people, stemming from, hey Patricia, from a few coaching calls that I've had this week, and this whole topic of unconditional love. And side note, as I've been thinking about it, journaling about it, writing about it, talking about it, posting about it, I have seen tons of other people doing the same thing too, which I don't think it's because they're copying me. I think it's something has made everyone suddenly question unconditional love. So I would really like to hear what that means for you. So if you're watching this, hi Debbie, hi Caroline, hi Reggie, hi Patricia, hi Lisa. If you are watching this, give me some hearts and waves and tell me what unconditional love means for you and if you feel it. So of course, I'm a self-love coach, so I am coming at this from the point of view of self-love. However, I asked the question yesterday on my Facebook status, and probably 70% of people who answered all have children, and they all said when they had a child, then they felt unconditional love. And a few people mentioned like glimmers of it in other areas and this, that and the other. So I'm really, really interested to think, how can we feel that unconditional love that we feel for a child? So I'm not a mother. I'm coming on to this in a minute because my dreams have been bonkers lately. But I'm not a mother and I still want to feel unconditional love. So if you are watching this and you know how to do that, I believe that I do know how to do that. So I'm going to share that with you in a minute. I have this little post-it here to remind me what to say so I don't babble on. Yeah, so a lot of people who answered on my post yesterday were talking about children, which is so beautiful and awesome, and I think possibly was the reason why this was coming up for me. So a while back in January, I started to feel like, oh my God, I really want to have a baby. And I thought that was my body communicating with me like, come on, get on with it. And of course, I'm 33, I have all the people saying, when are you having a baby? I'm like, I'm just getting single. So maybe that subconsciously was a little bit in the back of my mind. And I all of a sudden felt like I kind of longed for a baby, but not in like a crazy way. Just, you know, I've always wanted to have kids, and at some point I will do that. And yeah, it felt like, yeah, this is a thing. And then it was only the other day when I was journaling about it and I realised it's not a child that I want, although I do want that. It's unconditional love, and that's what I was thinking I would get from a child, but subconsciously. Hi Faye. I started to think, well, that isn't the answer, because I can give that unconditional love to myself first. It's not, I don't want to have to do that from the external. I want to give it to myself. I'm a self-love coach. We're always talking about how we can fill ourselves up with the things that we need. So I thought it was really, really interesting, the comments that people left on my status the other day, which were mostly, I felt unconditional love when I had a child. So again, if you're watching, please comment and tell me if you feel unconditional love with a child or not. Both is absolutely beautiful. So how can we channel that into us now? And of course, the love of a mother or a father is absolutely engulfing, and I see that in my brother and his children. I see that in friends that have got children. How can we channel that into ourselves? So I mean, what unconditional love means is love without conditions, right? So if that is with a little child, and that is kind of like, well, it doesn't matter what they do, I'll still love them, then surely that is the same for us in self-love. So, just thinking out loud right now, how can we, depending on what we do, all these crazy things that we do, we go through life, we make mistakes, we, I don't know, put on a shitload of weight, we do something really awful and then regret it, or we don't hit the mark with something we're supposed to be doing, all these things, it's almost like I'll love myself when I lose 10 pounds, or I get the job, or I become the best version of myself, or what else? For me, it's like when I get this book published, or, you know, when I hit a certain milestone in my business, or when I get married and have children, I'll love myself. No, these are all conditions. So really, that is not very loving or self-loving. Of course it's not. So it's all about loving ourselves now, regardless of the conditions. And I actually heard Oprah talking about something like this, which said, yeah, of course, this is her years ago. Of course, I'd love to be like an amazing daytime presenter and do all this incredible work. But even if I don't get the job, I'll still be enough. And I was like, oof, yeah, that's good. That feels right. Hello, people joining. If you're joining, give me a heart and a wave so I know. And that helps other people to see this video because of the algorithms. So, so now getting on to the kind of crazy bit. So I just explained that I started thinking about unconditional love because I realised that in January, I kind of was craving for a baby, even though I'd just got single. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm 33 and yeah, that's a pretty normal thing. And then I realised the other day that actually what I was craving back then is unconditional love. And I was thinking that I would get that from a child. And my status yesterday about unconditional love kind of reinforces that, because pretty much everyone said, I feel unconditional love from my children or by having children. So I wasn't far off the mark. But what I wanted to do was give that to myself. Like, I want to channel that energy into the unconditional love for myself. Of course, I'm a self-love coach. And last night, so yesterday, or was it yesterday? A couple of days ago, I was thinking about this unconditional love and journaling about it. So what I do when I journal is I ask myself lots of questions. I try to find like the deeper meaning of things, the deeper layer. And I realized that actually there's like kind of, if you've always wanted to have children, there's kind of a bit of pressure around when you're going to have them and who you're going to have them with and if you're going to have them. And I realized that I felt, this is quite a deep share actually. I don't think I've shared anything like this before. I realised that actually I've become very attached to the idea of having children, which could link to this unconditional love. And actually I practice non-attachment. So that means non-attachment to the outcome. It's like a yogic philosophy thing. And I practice it in a way that is, that would be nice, but if it doesn't happen, I'll still be whole. So I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense of non-attachment? Or if anyone's got any other things to say about non-attachment, please comment in the comments. So yesterday, or maybe the day before, I was journaling and I was like, oh, it kind of makes me feel scared and nervous to be non-attached to the outcome of having children, because I've always seen myself to have children and I've always wanted that, really wanted to have children. So the other day I was like, okay, what if I never have children? I'll still live, I'll still have an amazing life. So it's almost like, it's not that I don't want to have them, but I released that pressure from myself. And as I did that last night, I had the most vivid dream I've probably ever had. which included giving birth to a baby girl in my dream, and then straight away afterwards giving birth to a placenta. So that was my dream. I literally woke up like, crikey, that just went down. Has anyone ever had a dream like that? If you have, please comment. So this morning I woke up and I was Googling it, what does this mean? And also thinking, what does this mean for me? And I realised, of course, that's quite obvious. I just sort of detached from the outcome of that to do with unconditional love, and then had that dream. So there we go. That was a bit of a deep share. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So please comment. Hi, Mimi. Hi, Diego. Oh my God, there's loads of people on here that I haven't spoke to for ages. Oh my God, this is amazing. So I was talking about unconditional love and my crazy ass dream of giving birth to a baby girl and a placenta. So if you didn't see the whole video, go back and watch it because it's kind of crazy. And I would love to know what unconditional love means for you and how we can give that to ourselves at any time, whether we have children or not. And if you have felt unconditional love, I would love to know your advice for someone who hasn't. How would you advise someone who has never felt unconditional love to feel it? So my advice for that is to some little kids going by on bikes. My advice is to deeply connect with yourself. Whatever you are longing for on the outside, you can find on the inside. So whether that means filling yourself up from the inside with all the things that you long for, you desire, you love, all your passions, having loads and loads of fun, and absolutely filling yourself up. So a few people commented on my status and said, I've felt unconditional love when dancing. So in Ubud, where I usually live, I'm in Manchester now. Look how beautiful it is. And I've definitely felt that in ecstatic dance on a Friday night and a Sunday morning in Yoga Barn in Bali. Dance like a crazy person, listen to amazing music, and really connect with ourselves and source. So like connecting with source, like power, I don't know what you want to call it, the divine, the universe, God, and just really being with yourself and being really, really present. And that for me is unconditional love. And that can be brought in so many ways. So we don't need a partner. I believe we don't need a child. We don't need to give birth or have a child to feel unconditional love. We can feel it all the time. And that is the conversation that I'm having with myself and with others right now. And I would love to hear your feedback. So please comment below any ideas for other people to read as well of how we can feel unconditional love now, but not from the external. So I'm just going to read your comments because I'm seeing comments popping up. Random but yes, Mimi, you're right on point. Random but nature, dogs, cats, trees, flowers are beautiful. Unconditional love, everything else is perception. I fucking love you too, Mimi. I totally agree. Like just being out in nature, and this sounds very hippie and woo-woo, but just like looking at the nature. This nature is here for us non-stop. It's always here, always providing. It's absolutely stunning. It feeds us with oxygen. It feeds us with vibes. When we're around it, we feel good. Like when we stand on the ground with no shoes, we literally like feed off the earth's energy. Like that is unconditional love from the frickin' planet. Like, and even just being around other people's children, that is unconditional love as well. Just seeing like the purity, the like beauty, the vibes, the just the genius, the creativity that is children in the purest form. That is unconditional love. It doesn't have to be your own child. So I'm going to go off now because I've been going on a little bit, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. And that was probably my most intense share. And I don't think I've ever spoken about that kind of thing before, especially on Facebook Live. So if that was graphic, I'm very sorry about giving birth to a placenta. And if you're just joining, that probably makes that sounds like a shit show, and maybe it is. But yeah, it's totally linked. And so that is my share for today. Thank you for joining me and enjoy your Sunday. Bye.